none. Welcome to all of you. The Chihuahuas have a day game today, so Southwest University Park is unavailable for purposes like this, so we appreciate you all trekking next door to the convention center. I'm Alan Ledford. I'm the president of MountainStar Sports Group. And to begin today's event, I'd like to introduce members of the MountainStar and FC Juarez ownership who are able to join us today. To my right, Woody Hunt, Josh Hunt, and Paul Foster. And I have one more to my right who will introduce Alejandra a bit later. When FC Juarez was formed in 2015, the ownership group, MountainStar and its partners, described a mission for the organization, which was focused on impacting the community in a unique and positive way through sports and entertainment. Specifically, the goal was then, and it remains today, to position the city in a manner which promotes economic development and positions the team as a community asset for all those living in the region around Juarez. That mission remains unchanged today, and as time has evolved, MountainStar Sports Group has become the majority owner of FC Juarez. As a result, I and our company are taking a much more active role in the leadership and management of the organization. We are proud to continue to work with MountainStar's original ownership partners as part of our ongoing mission to positively impact the community and the regions. And today's introductions represent a very important step into the future. So with that as background and with that update, let's begin. Several years ago, I had the pleasure to meet Luis Rodríguez during one of his visits home to El Paso. Over the course of time, I had the opportunity to get to know Luis better and came to fully appreciate the quality person that he is, the breadth of his experience, and the extensive relationships he has throughout the international soccer world. He has held senior management positions in some of the highest profile organizations in football, including most recently with FIFA. He is highly respected and has relationships throughout the soccer ecosystem, including in Mexico and South America. And to top it all off, he was born and raised right here in El Paso and Juarez. On behalf of our ownership group, it's my pleasure to welcome home and to introduce FC Juarez's new president, Luis Rodríguez.
Gracias. I'm going to speak at first in English and then I'll speak a little bit in Spanish as well. Thank you, Alan, for the introduction. First off, thank you to MountainStar ownership, Alejandra, Paul, Woody, Josh, as well as our other FC Juarez ownership partners, Fernandez family, the De La Vega family, the Munoz family, the Talavera family. Also as well, thank you to FIFA leadership for their support, excuse me, in this next phase of my career of making football truly global, this time in club football, which is the foundation of the global football ecosystem. So it's hard to believe after 20 years, I'm thrilled to be back home where it all started. El Paso, Juarez has a special place in my heart. It's where my passion for football, soccer, began, and it's what I've always taken with me in my journey in different parts of the world. I went to undergrad at St. John's University in New York, right, and then was able to get a job at Major League Soccer for 9 years at the league office in New York City, right, and then that took me to Europe, my lovely family, where I was able to work for a company named Team Marketing that manages the commercial rights for the UEFA Champions League, then transitioned back to South America, working with CONMEBOL across the restructure of CONMEBOL Libertadores, Sudamericana, which Andrés knows very, very well. And then most recently, the last 2 years, I've had the privilege to lead the partnership development team at FIFA in Zurich, going from Miami and Zurich, and we're very proud of the accomplishments that we've made, selling out commercial sponsorship for Qatar 2022, in addition to most recently, and something I was just telling our women's team a couple of hours ago across the border, very proud of the work we've done across the FIFA Women's World Cup, where we were able to sell out commercial sponsorship for the very first time, all of that revenue going specifically towards women's football and women's football development. So with that, this new project, I'm a firm believer of MountainStar's and FC Juarez's vision of leveraging sports and entertainment to, one, enhance quality of life and social mobility, in addition to economic development. I am the prime example of that vision, and so it is my honor and privilege to be able to lead a new generation of talent in El Paso, across the world, and hopefully have the same success as we've seen some of our El Paso talent have on the field. Ahora voy a cambiar a español, como mencioné. Le quiero dar las gracias a nuestros dueños de MountainStar, Alejandra, Paul, Uri y Josh, al igual que las familias Fernández, de la Vega, Muñoz y Talavera. Es con mucho orgullo, mucho honor que tomo este puesto, trabajando de la mano también, que van a conocer próximamente, con Andrés, con Beto, con Malvina, con Jesús, en liderazgo del club, ¿no? Día a día a mejorar lo que es el perfil de FC Juárez, al igual de los Bravos, ¿no? Tenemos una oportunidad única en este mercado, somos el único equipo que de veras está en la frontera, ¿no? Con afición no solo en Juárez, pero en El Paso, ¿no? Y usar ese mecanismo para ayudar a la sociedad, uno, tener una oportunidad mejor para sus vidas y el desarrollo económico, ¿no? Tenemos mucha ilusión, un compromiso que he mencionado también con el equipo varonil, al igual que el femenil, que tenemos el compromiso no solo del pantalón corto, como los jugadores, pero sino del pantalón largo, ¿no? En lo que queremos hacer de aquí en adelante, y ya lo están viendo dentro de la cancha, ¿no? No tomo mucho tiempo en español porque tenemos otra conferencia de prensa más tarde en Juárez. Les agradezco, les reitero, es un gran orgullo y honor estar aquí, ¿no? Y vamos Bravos.
Muy bien.
Andres and Beto, what Luis didn't tell you is that he was, I'll tell you what he told me, but he didn't say it here, is he was a hell of a soccer player, and he thinks he is still pretty good, so.
Muy bien.
Dado caso. Central, ¿no? Midfielder or de 5.
Te tenemos como asador nosotros.
Luis, give it up. Thank you, Luis. All kidding aside, we are thrilled to have somebody with Luis's background, and as I noted earlier, to cap it all off, having the experience of growing up in this region, knowing how special it is, understanding the culture and the people, and having that innate affinity is something that we never expected to find, and it's going to be a real pleasure to work with Luis as we go forward. Speaking of Andres, there are very few people in this sport, I've come to learn, who have the experience and the pedigree that Andrés Fassi has accumulated during his long tenure in the sport. And we are very proud that he is now an integral part of the MountainStar Sports soccer and FC Juarez teams. This past fall, we were fortunate to attract Andres to this project to oversee all aspects of the football side of the business. Consistent with his past accomplishments, Andres has made remarkable progress in a very short period of time while here. He comes to us with a world-class background, a long history of success in Liga MX in Argentina, including 6 Liga MX titles and 12 championships of various types while he was at Pachuca. Andres, as you will come to learn and see, brings an ambitious vision, an infectious personality, and an intensity that has resulted in success throughout his career. We are very fortunate to be working with one of the most accomplished executives in football. and on behalf of everyone associated with MountainStar, the Bravos, the Bravas, I'm thrilled to officially introduce MountainStar Soccer's and FC Juárez's Chief Soccer Officer, Andrés Fassi.
No sé si quieren que hable en inglés o en español, como prefieran. En inglés me faltan algunas clases, así que mejor va a ser en español. Listo, muy bien. Para que les traduzcan acá. La verdad que un día muy especial. Un día muy especial porque me siento en casa. Regreso a mi casa. Juárez, El Paso, fueron mi casa hace más de 30 años cuando nos tocaba llegar con mi esposa a tratar de abrir un camino en el mundo del fútbol al que le tengo mucha pasión. Y justamente en Juárez empezó este proyecto, allá de la mano de don Federico de la Vega, con toda su familia, su hija que se metía a la cancha cuando el partido estaba jugando a 6, todavía no sabía que eso no se podía hacer, y ahí empezó toda una muy bonita historia con Juárez. Y después, bueno, a Pachuca, 27 años, y de hace muchos años ya en Argentina, me vinculan casi 40 años vinculado al mundo del fútbol. Y hoy, primero, agradecido con todos los que confían en la posibilidad de poder hacer un proyecto de envergadura, de poder hacer un proyecto no solamente deportivo, no solamente la visión de hacer equipos bravos en Juárez, Lokomotiv, lo que venga en lo que decidiremos como grupo en Europa, no solamente hacer equipos competitivos, sino interpretar y entender de lo que hoy, en un mundo tan globalizado, la pasión del fútbol, de lo que somos capaces de poder generar y hacer con la pasión del fútbol, a través del fútbol, para el beneficio de cientos de miles de familias, donde podemos crear realmente un valor muy importante a través de esa responsabilidad de los que tenemos comandando instituciones en el fútbol. El poder tener la autonomía, la responsabilidad de lo deportivo en Juárez, de poder interpretar y entender que el mundo del fútbol hoy va globalizado hacia la estructura de los grupos. Hoy ya empezamos a ver que el mundo del fútbol empieza a tomar cada vez más sinergia con los grandes grupos. Citigroup con 9, 10 equipos, el grupo Red Bull con 7, 8 equipos. Hoy ya 12, 13 equipos en el mundo empiezan a generar apertura de sinergia, apertura de unidad, y nosotros como grupo tratamos de generar una sincronización de trabajo en equipo, con esa visión, con Bravos, con Lokomotiv en El Paso, con toda una activación deportiva, con toda una activación social, con toda una activación de formación en divisiones menores, con toda una activación en infraestructura, con toda una activación de visión, donde vemos que a través del fútbol podemos generar muchísimas cosas. Por eso me siento en casa, por eso un día muy especial, por eso contento de que a través de lo que viene a ser Juárez, presentar a su nuevo presidente y con toda la responsabilidad de los dueños, decirles que seguramente seremos portadores de equipos de mucho orgullo, equipos con un enorme sentido de pertenencia. Los juarenses en Chihuahua se empezará a hablar definitivamente de cosas muy lindas que empiezan a pasar en el mundo del fútbol, en el mundo de la competencia, de todos los que vengan a visitarnos, de esa infraestructura que empieza a crecer, de tantos de cientos de miles de niños que empiezan a deambular en escuelas de fútbol, en El Paso, en un estado como el de Texas, en Estados Unidos, con los mexicoamericanos. Empezaremos un trabajo globalizado, de envergadura, con una gran visión. Y que seremos portadores de orgullo, definitivamente, de lo que podamos como grupo empezar a generar. Por eso ratifico una vez más, Alejandra, Alan y todo el grupo de trabajo a esa extraordinaria dinámica y a ese incansable ánimo de querer hacer las cosas lo mejor posible, como este grupo de dueños, guarenses, gente del Paso, que siguen apostando, interpretando y entendiendo que a través del deporte definitivamente podemos tener un mundo mejor, donde hoy los valores cada vez faltan más, donde el valor a la familia, a la integración, cada vez los vemos más lejanos. Nosotros como grupo trataremos esa integración a través de algo tan extraordinario y de tanta pasión como lo es del fútbol, poder generar ese valor de familia que definitivamente tanto necesita la sociedad. Así que gracias por la posibilidad nuevamente de integrarme a mi casa, así lo siento, y ratificar definitivamente ese gran compromiso que de hace muchísimos años tengo con la pasión del fútbol. Gracias a todos.
Thank you, Andres, and as you experience, and hopefully over the course of time you've experienced with the FC Juarez ownership, the MountainStar ownership, with Andres, with Luis, there is a true passion, and it's not just a passion for the sport, but it's for the impact that the sport can have on a community, which goes well beyond the game on the pitch that everybody loves so much. Before we introduce the individuals to Andres' left, I'd like to introduce Alejandra de la Vega. Alejandra is a co-owner of MountainStar. She's also the chairwoman of FC Juarez. Please welcome Alejandra.
Good afternoon to all. Thank you for being here with us today. It is really a very exciting day for the ownership of MountainStar because we get to welcome home two individuals that we are convinced will add significant leadership to our group. First, welcome Luis and to his beautiful family that's here with us today. Luis brings a lot of experience on the business side of football, having worked with FIFA, which is very interesting. You got to go around the world and learn a lot. So we are very, very lucky that El Paso is your home, Juarez, because that's part of what drew you back. And so we feel very fortunate to have you as a part of our organization. And Andres, an old friend of mine, Andres, as some of you know, was invited to work with Cobras back in the early 90s, as he said, 30 years ago. And that's when I met him. Of course I was that age. But it was the beginning of his professional life in soccer in Mexico. And I am a witness. At that time, Cobras was struggling with the sports results, and I am a witness to the ideas and the plans and this enthusiasm that Andres had, of course, even back then when he was 30 years younger, of what later became what he and his partner built in Pachuca, Jesus Martinez, because many of those ideas later when his period with Cobras ended, was presented to the governor of Chihuahua at the time. And probably our region wasn't ready for his innovative ideas. So he kept going till he found a home in Pachuca. But I think it's very important that his first landing spot was Juarez. And not only that, when you work in professional teams, you get to meet many people, talented, good, bad, committed, not committed. And one thing I remember very clearly, when things got tough, Andres was always there. I was very young and trusted with a very big responsibility. And when you saw some faces that really didn't care and weren't committed, Andres was always there, trying to hold my back. And I've always recognized that, Andres, and I'm very grateful for that. And it's that passion and that commitment to projects that makes them successful. And that's the big difference. No? We always, there's a joke about the chicken and the chicken and the pig, no, saying who's more committed when you have eggs and bacon. And that's the difference I'm talking about. And it's without a doubt because of that, and of course his talent, that he's had a very successful career in football, and that's why we have worked through many months of doing an alliance with him and forming, as he has described, in the modern world of soccer, professional soccer. He was explaining the new moda is to work through groups and to have different teams, which creates a synergy that is very valuable to the teams and especially to the development of talent, because different players have different moments that can grow in one place or another. But it also takes a knowledgeable and passionate leadership to be able to direct all those efforts. So with welcoming these two talented individuals, I think it's a show of the commitment that MountainStar has to our region, to providing what we said day one when we started our endeavor in professional sports, to provide teams that make us feel proud, that connect us, especially that inspire our youth to practice sports, to stay out of trouble, and to become a very valuable community asset. And I'm convinced that not only do we need to look for talent on the field, but also for the leadership that makes things happen behind the curtains. And I'm confident that with the leadership that is coming together in our group, we are going to advance with bigger, wider steps to make teams that make us feel proud. And it's always constructing great things takes hardship, takes commitment. And for this, I really want to acknowledge and appreciate Woody, Josh, and Paul, because without you, this would not be possible. As back then I said, Andres was there in the difficult moments, pues these three guys have been there in the difficult moments. There are ups and downs, and you know, sometimes we cheer, we're super happy, we won, and sometimes we lose, and it takes effort, energy, resources to keep going. And so I think thanks to everyone, to them, and also Alan, who has provided great leadership. I think we're very fortunate. They want to start this project with you, and to see what the Chihuahuas have become for our region, a space that makes us proud, which is very important because that is part of our objective when we talk about quality of life. Southwest University Park has become a venue that we all go when we have visitors, when we don't, when we want to have fun, when we just want to go see baseball, go see soccer, go see the locomotives. It's a fabulous venue, and Alan and all his team was involved day one, or I should say minus, because he was also part of the project, the construction, and it's been a very successful road, and I think you brought a lot of things to the community of El Paso and to Juarez. So thank you to all of you, and thank you to all the members of the press that are here today.
Thank you, Alejandra. And you'd think after working in this region in what I consider a second home for almost 12 years now, that I'd be able to speak Spanish a little bit better than I did. I think that ship might have sailed. Yeah. But with Beto's and Andres, Albina's, Jesus, Luis, Alejandra's help, maybe someday. As you can tell, we're very proud of the leadership team and the extraordinary people like Andres and Luis that we've been able to bring to the region and the organization. But on the ground, day to day, there are three individuals who Andres works very closely with, and in the case of Jesus, we work very closely with to operate the business. First, I'd like to introduce Beto Valdez. Beto is sporting director for Bravos. Beto had an acclaimed playing career with Cruz Azul, winning national and international titles as a player, and later went on to be an analyst on television for Fox Sports. And he joined the Bravos earlier this year, working with Andres to take up the role of sporting director. And long ago, maybe not that long ago, Beto studied business and sports administration at the Universidad de Valle de Mexico. Welcome, Beto. Next, it's my pleasure to introduce Balbina Trevino, who is the sporting director for Las Bravas. Balbina brings an impressive background to the Bravas, including a similar professional playing career as a goalkeeper, and she played for Necaxa, Monterrey, and Club Tijuana. She also has front office experience with Tigres and an educational background, which includes a master's in soccer business from the Johan Cruyff College in Amsterdam. Please welcome Balbina Trevino. And finally, Jesus Mesta. For the last 3 years, Jesus has been an integral part of the Bravos and Bravas front office. Jesus' role has evolved to the point where he's now involved with all aspects of the business. And you're still looking pretty good for the road you've been on, including the commercial, financial, and sports areas. Jesus brings an extensive and varied background in both the private and public sectors. Most recently, he served as the Undersecretary at the Secretariat of Innovation and Economic Development for the state of Chihuahua. To reflect his extensive responsibilities, Jesus was recently named the Chief Operating Officer for FC Juarez. Please join me in congratulating Jesus. So in closing, we are proud to